I one day decided to take a plane and move to Paris with hope for that new life. Upon arriving in Paris, I met this girl, Nicole. She was a singer. She was beautiful, and she was going to be the best thing and the worst thing in my life. We fell in love at first sight. One day, Nicole was called to perform in St. Petersburg as a lead singer for a function. It ended up that she had to stay there longer than she had told me. When she got back to France, she walked in on me, in bed, with another girl. What she didn't know was that she was sharing the rent with me to save money while she was away. She stormed out in tears, yelling his disgust and disbelief, leaving me speechless and confused. I knew that she went to her mother's house. I didn't know how it would all end up and was terrified at the thought of her going back. But I knew that once she was gone, getting her back would be harder than the first time. During that time, I had sent her letters by mail trying to explain the truth, because she never answered my calls. But what could I expect, as she was with her mother? I couldn't forget Nicole, and I would not let something so dull let us split apart. I knew exactly where to find her. So I went to her mother's house, expecting the worst. I found Nicole dead on the couch, her arms and the fabric of the sofa covered in blood from the cuts in her wrists, and the sealed letters on the ground also drenched in blood, lying next to the letter opener she was going to use to open them, but instead used to kill herself. She had never opened a single letter I had sent her. I guess her mother had hidden them, as I expected. Screaming for help, agonizing in my mind, I anxiously looked around the cold house for her mother, as she was my only hope for an answer, or someone to cry to. Only to find her cold corpse in the bathtub. She had a letter in her hand as well, one she received years ago, but she had just opened, announcing the death of her husband. I didn't know what to do. I screamed, cried, broke every mirror in the house. I locked myself in Nicole's room, hoping I would wake up from the nightmare as I crawled up into a ball in the corner of her room. I found her diary there. As I could hardly breathe, stand, or think, I just took it with me, along with the hope for an explanation, and left the house, left to the airport, left back, leaving everything behind, hoping I would forget. Her diary was full of songs, poems, and thoughts which I could hardly bear to read, only showing how she descended into a sheltered state of madness, not knowing who to turn to, thinking I had disgraced her. That's why she killed herself. Because of her mother, and because of me. Because of me. Because if it hadn't been for my letters, or my mistakes, well, as I looked back at this time when I swirled and nearly drowned into a pattern of events, thoughts, and horrors which I would never have expected, I find myself staring at this little box, right through the most upsetting story, which is worthy of some kind of old play. This box breathes my story.